Welcome to episode 127, 3 Ways to Market Your MRO, or repair station, or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah, I thought the last one was 176.
I got the number wrong. Numbers are not my strong suit, so words are much better than numbers for keeping track of things. But being a podcast, we have to put numbers on things, so here we are.
Great.
All right, so this is part of our aviation service provider series. We took a break and did a couple of other things, but this month we're focusing on service providers in the aviation industry, MROs, FBOs, and charters most specifically. We also talked about writers, speakers, and educators because they are also service providers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so today we are talking about MROs, and John has a very special place in his heart for mechanics, don't you?
Well, that's how I grew up, one of my first jobs.
Fixing things, exactly. And you introduced me to the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance as well.
Yeah, well, that's less about maintenance than it is about Zen.
Other things, exactly. That's true. But there definitely is an art and a science involved, and it is just as important as the people that fly the plane. And we have nothing but respect for people who maintain airplanes, especially the ones that we have ever flown in, right?
Or expect to fly.
Right, exactly. Okay, now one of the things that happens with service providers of all types is that they get caught in what Bill Caskey calls the commodity dungeon in his excellent book, Same Game, New Rules, right?
Yep.
And the commodity dungeon is basically if somebody will do a service for $100 and you're doing it for $110, you're at a disadvantage. If you look at it as a commodity, that's true. But most of the services in the aviation industry, if you can market them correctly, they do not fall into that category.
The commoditization falls by the wayside.
Exactly. So, you're going to have some customers that are looking for the cheapest way to do X, Y, or Z.
And there's always a few of those.
Exactly. But I think most people in the industry are looking for something else, is going to be the deciding factor for them.
Quality,
convenience, any number of things. But we're going to talk about 3 things specifically that you can do to differentiate your MRO from everybody else on the field and everybody else in the market, in fact, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So one thing that we've been doing with everyone is what we call the logo test, right? Can you tell who this is based on the front page of a website? And this is the real front page of a real website, mm-hmm. Right? Safety is our number 1 priority.
Really?
Safety is everyone's number 1 priority, or it should be. So I wouldn't say that that's a differentiating factor. In fact, when we were at the FASANA conference, there was a pretty good discussion about how talking about safety is not really all that helpful, just because it's so unspecific, right?
Right. You need to talk about, that's another whole topic, but that,
mm-hmm.
You talk about what's behind safety and what causes it to happen. You can talk about safety as the thing.
Exactly. So we blanked out the name. Blank has blank years in business and is dedicated to continuously improving the quality, value, and above all, the safety of all of our services for our customers.
Now, how many businesses can that apply to in aviation?
Yeah, is there anybody that doesn't do that? Raise your hand. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. We do this by creating the best possible relationship, thinking of the long-term relationship from the moment our customers decide to put their trust in our services.
Who doesn't do that?
Right. Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's not a lot of differentiation here, and a lot of people struggle with their website, and they struggle with brochures, and they struggle.
They smuggle?
They smuggle their marketing materials. In fact, they often just steal marketing materials from their print shop or someone else or their webmaster who maybe knows nothing about MRO services.
And it shows. You just change the names, and it's somebody else's business.
Exactly. So it's really important these days, especially, to say something different. Why should they choose your company as opposed to all the other choices that they have?
And what's really different?
Right. Okay, so here are 3 ways that you can be really different, right?
Yep.
Okay. Transparency, customer testimonials, which is partly transparency, actually,
True.
And also convenience. So these are the three things that we found to be the most influential when it comes to marketing for MRO companies, right? Or
Right.
people in this category. All right. So first of all, transparency. And John, you can talk about what you want a hangar to look like when you drive in, right?
Well, firstly, you don't drive into a hangar.
Well, okay.
You don't even taxi in.
I would hope not. But the first time you walk into a hangar,
Yeah, and you're
before
going to go
having
in,
work
you
done.
know, even if you've never been there before, you're going to get out and go in and you're talking to whomever's going to do the maintenance, and you're going to look around and get a good feeling or a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that this is very neatly done. It's very clean. I've been to this place several times, and there's never a fleck of dust out of place.
Right. And this was actually taken after hours, or the lighting would have been better, right?
Right.
Okay. We wanted to take a picture when they didn't have a lot of, we weren't being too disruptive.
Actually, it was a Friday night when they were already hurried up to get out of there, and you can tell they didn't really hurry up because everything's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, a place with really nice lighting, white, beautiful floor.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell if they dropped a screw or something like that. Things are really, really obviously well maintained, and they run a tight ship.
Yep.
Okay. And this next one is actually Special Services Corporation and their beautiful hangar with their beautiful
The
epoxy
same
floor.
story. You can tell that everything is perfect. The guys are taking very good care. They're just now buttoning up this airplane after doing some maintenance on it. And again, there's nothing strewn around that's out of place. It's all there.
Right. These are people that take an incredible amount of pride in their work, and you can tell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you went to some kind of an organization or a maintenance organization that did not want you in their hangar, you'd probably turn around and walk out as fast as
I
you
wouldn't
could.
let my airplane in there if I couldn't go in there.
Exactly. Right. So John does this even when we're getting our car serviced. They always have those signs that say customers not allowed beyond this point. He ignores that.
Yeah. I mean, if I can't walk in there, and I don't get in their way. I know better than that. But they also know me now because I've picked on the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because their auto shop looks like this one.
Exactly.
Only this is airplanes, but it looks like this.
Right. Okay. You also want to be transparent about the specific services that you offer. On a lot of websites, they're really pretty vague. They just say avionics, or something that's not very specific. There's not enough words on their website for the search engines to really sink their teeth in. You can get really specific, and you should get really specific about the services you offer. And of course, this isn't an exhaustive list by any means of the services you could offer and put
even
on
a
your
lot
website.
of these are generic, and if you are more specific as to brands, say that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the reason for this is because when people are looking for a specific service, a lot of times your customers are going to be other MRO stations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That need something done as part of a service they're providing to the end customer. So they know what they're looking for. They know exactly what they're looking for, and they're going to type it in to Google and say, who do I know in the area, that can do this? Especially who do I know that can do this quickly? But ideally, who do I know that can do this specific type of service? Sometimes the aircraft owner or the chief pilot or the DOM or for a flight department or someone else really does know what they're looking for, and they're going to be looking for those specific terms. So there's no reason you can't have this, maybe not on your front page, but somewhere on your website. Right? Okay. Most do not go into nearly enough specifics and don't have nearly enough words, and there's
Sure.
plenty of words that you can use. All right. Another thing you can put in your marketing materials and on your website are customer testimonials. And this is a really neat little video. It's about 1 minute and 2 seconds long from a customer of CNL in Maine, and he talks about his experience with the company. If you have a customer that's willing and able to do this, it gives them some publicity and some visibility because you're going to link back to their website, right? Mm-hmm. And it gives you some publicity and some visibility because what you say is one thing, what your customers say about you is 1,000 times more credible, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So lots of ways of doing this. If all you can get is an email from someone, that's fine too. You can always take bits of that, put those on your website. Mm-hmm. Ideally, you want to include as much information as possible in terms of names, titles, other things like that. Sometimes people won't want to give that to you. For whatever reason, you can just use initials and a city. You can use that. That's more credible than nothing.
Right.
You can also use anonymous quotes if you really have to, but the more specific, the better, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So we talked about transparency. We talked about testimonials. Let's talk about convenience.
What a concept.
Right. Some of the things that you can do for your customers are priority scheduling. So if they have a specific schedule that they're keeping and you can kind of anticipate when they're going to be coming back in for service, if you can send them a little card, give them a call saying, I'm keeping a slot on Wednesday the 12th open for you because I know you're coming up for your service. Will that work for you?
Yeah, but even if they've just come by for the first time and you've done work for them, mm-hmm. Just during conversation, you can figure out how much they fly and when to expect the next time.
That's true.
And even if you're 30 days off, all of a sudden they have you in mind. And if you did a good job, they'll be interested.
Absolutely. And it just gives you another opportunity to earn their business, mm-hmm. really. It drives me crazy because auto shops do this, and that's for a $20 service sometimes or a $30 service. And these are for multiple thousands or more. So, you can spare a postcard for this, right?
That's right.
And a little bit of people time to make sure that you get that business and it doesn't end up going somewhere else because, just haven't been reminded of their relationship with you, right? Mm-hmm. So don't neglect your customers. If you offer service on a particular aircraft type that you have people, that have that ability to pick up and deliver, why not do it, right?
Yeah, we talked to some guys at the NBAA once, and I don't remember mm-hmm. where their MRO was, but they fly several states away. They go and pick up airplanes, take them back, service them, and then put them back where they belong in the same chock, same place, with a note on a seat inside the airplane, and then nobody knows it's ever been moved.
Exactly. That's the only way that they know it's been serviced is here's your checklist and here's your parameters and everything else. And here's what we did. So pickup and delivery, that's above and beyond, don't you think?
Oh, wait. Yeah, big time.
Right.
But they keep getting more and more business, so mm-hmm. it's working.
Exactly. Another thing would be additional services, either that you can offer or that you can offer through partners. Detailing, dry cleaning. Fixing their car, cleaning the seats, stocking the galley.
You'd be surprised what some companies will go to enhance their reputation with their clients.
Right. And this is not trivial because customers in business aviation especially, the primary reason that they are in business aviation or that they are shelling out the money for business aviation in the first place is because convenience is so incredibly important to them, right? Mm-hmm. So they will do just about anything to work with people who, they are far more willing to part with their money than they are with their time. So if you can find a way to save them time or save them another trip or save them one more thing they got to worry about, that is a really excellent way to earn their business.
True.
Right?
Works for us too.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of things we do to try and make things more convenient for our customers. And our customers are not bargain hunters, right?
No.
Okay. So we do have a tip sheet. Speaking of bargains, this is actually a free tip sheet that you can download. You just go to abci1.com/MRO.
That's not on there.
No, it's not on there, but you can find it certainly. Also, you can even go to Google and search for MRO marketing tip sheet, and it will come up pretty easily.
Good.
Yeah. So you can find that and let us know what you think. Download that. If you'd like to talk with us specifically about your MRO organization and how you can get more of a specific type of maintenance that's really lucrative for you, or if you're switching from one thing to another, or, whatever your situation is, we can talk to you about that. Usually 30 minutes is enough to figure out if there's a way for us to work together, if it makes sense or not. Either way is great.
Yep.
You can just use that gold button on the left-hand side of our website, set up a time that works for you, and we'll be happy to sit down with you and have a conversation about your MRO marketing.
Of course.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. See you next time.
See you next time.
All right.